The Rays, their pitching coach is Kyle Snyder, who I've learned some things about that I did not know. He was a 6'7" high school flash. I know he grew up in Houston. It may have been in Sarasota. And he went to North Carolina. And he was a freshman when Dean Smith was coaching his last year in Chapel Hill. How about that? Kyle says hello here on High Heat. Mr. Snyder, good to have you with us. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Doing great. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. How about that, huh? You got a chance. I think Dean probably announced it right around the time you were going to school that first year. But you got a chance to be on that campus for the legendary coaches last year. That's quite a thrill for an 18-year-old kid. Let me get a sense on that. Go ahead.
No question. I mean, I grew up in a basketball family. My father played point guard at Rice. And, to get an opportunity, I mean, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan growing up. Carolina was certainly on my mind for that reason. And just the legacy that Dean had left and getting the opportunity to see him coach a club, for the first time, or, my freshman year. Brian Roberts, who was the son of Mike Roberts, who was our head coach of baseball. Brian and I got to be close with one of the redshirt freshmen of that season. And as a result, got a chance to see up close and personal what it was like to watch a 19-year-old Vince Carter and a 19-year-old Antoine Jameson, and just a wonderful team, and to be there when, obviously when Dean was there for his last year before he handed it over to Bill Guthrie, which is really a treat, certainly.
And not only that, didn't they play the regional the next year, the final in Carolina? And I know Calhoun got all ticked off against Utah when Guthridge got to the Final Four. Kyle, you may have been at that game. Is that true or not? Let me hear.
That is correct, and I was in attendance.
You were there. How about
Yes.
that? Oh, my God, it was a hell of a game. And Jameson and Carter played great. That was a great game. And Calhoun, who we know in Connecticut, all upset. How do I got to play Carolina in Carolina? Talk about that for a sec. Go ahead.
That's right. Yeah, and we were fortunate enough, too, just to having to know Michael Brooker, who was that redshirt freshman. We were able to get seats from one of the players there. His family wasn't coming up all that much as a result, and because he wasn't playing his freshman year. So, we got to see that game really up close and personal, and it was a lot of fun, certainly. How
about that? And that was the championship for Tubby there in Kentucky. Carolina lost in the Final Four. Utah,
That's right?
Am I not correct, Kyle? Yeah.
You are correct. Yes.
Utah beat and Kentucky beat Duke, and they were down by like 40 points. And they came back and beat Duke, and then Kentucky played Utah. Look at that. Kyle Snyder, little hoops. And away we go. He probably finds a little court somewhere in Port Charlotte when he gets a chance to work with his pitchers. A new staff for you here, Kyle. How you going to handle it? You get no Morton, no Snell. Lots of new guys coming in. You're pretty bright. Let me hear your thoughts. Go ahead. Fire away.
Well, we brought in a lot of guys, that have, it's a good mix of guys. You got some young talent, guys that are ready to take the next step, guys that got an opportunity last year and a successful, albeit shortened season. And then, bringing in the likes of Rich Hill, Michael Waka, Colin McHugh, some older guys, but yet, still have a lot left in their careers. And, I think it's going to be a good mix. We've added a lot of talent and a lot of depth, and that's what this is going to require. I mean, this season, just playing 162 games coming off the 60-game regular season, I think it's going to be a really big deal to have a good mix of guys that have been there, gone through a lot of different life experience, gone through a lot of different baseball experience. And I think they're going to be able to usher along a lot of these younger guys as well. And then obviously they have Chris Archer come back, who was such a big part of this organization, certainly prior to, me getting to the big leagues minus the year of 18. We're really excited about what these guys can provide just in general, and it's going to be interesting how everything gets pieced together. But we feel really good about the talent and really good about the depth.
Last year, the bullpen had seemed to wear itself out a little bit come postseason, maybe late in that Houston series, and then, of course, going into the Dodgers series. Something that it was unavoidable the way the year was set up and all those postseason games at the extra round. Give me some thoughts on the extra wear and tear last year, Kyle, how it affects this year's team with that bullpen. A lot of pitches thrown by those guys out there resting in the bullpen. Thoughts on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. We're not going to certainly not be able to manage the bullpen the way that we managed the bullpen last year in the regular season. And that 60-game set, it was a unique postseason just given the number of consecutive games played in those division series and championship series. I don't have any concerns about what it's going to do going into this season in terms of the physical toll. These guys have all come in here. They all feel good. They've responded well physically in this first week, and it's just a matter of being able to get them kind of to callous over a little bit over these first few days, get them ready for games, and ultimately ready for the year.
Kyle also played in the Cape Cod League for the Chatham Athletics, a team I'm familiar with. I've been at that Bars Inn up there a few times there, Kyle, that Chatham Bars Inn. Let me hear a little path. How did you find yourself in Mays? You got a huge job, a team that needs all these pitchers to be successful. You're a young guy. How'd you end up in Tampa? Let me hear a little career path for Kyle Snyder. Go ahead.
Well, certainly. Once I realized I was done torturing myself and I was no longer good, I'm not sure I was good at any point, but I had quite a few injuries. In 2011, I had a chance to go down to winter ball, and I stumbled into an interview with the Tampa Bay Rays for their short season affiliate Hudson Valley Club, and I've been forever thankful, just given what I've been exposed to in terms of what this organization's done over the years in terms of pitching development, how ahead of the game they've been analytically. I've been able to absorb a lot of that stuff and really be counseled by a lot of really important and really impactful pitching minds, and it's given me an opportunity to come here. You had mentioned I grew up in Sarasota, so I'm somewhat of a local kid. Coming through the ranks here, and went to Riverview High School, and obviously the Tampa Bay Rays have been our hometown club the entire time. So it's been really nice just to get the opportunity initially to work myself, kind of through the minor league system. I was a coordinator in 2014. I spent 3 years in Durham, which is our AAA affiliate, and now entering my fourth season in this particular role. And I couldn't be happier about where I am.
Hey, there was another 6'7", I don't know if you're a lefty, but there was another 6'7" gangly kid who was in the Hudson Valley area, too. I think we all know who he is, and he coached your favorite player. That's Phil Jackson. Did you know that?
That's right.
With the Albany Patroons a long time ago. You did know that. But you were a good sports fan. Good for you. And Hudson Valley's not that far away from, the Northeast, so you know this area pretty well. All right, give me some thoughts here on McHugh. Didn't pitch last year. Hill's 41 years of age. Let me get some thoughts on him, too. And of course, Waco, who was, a couple years ago was a real good pitcher, not been so good lately. Those three are important. Let me get a little sense on them before you go. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. No, Michael Wacha, last 2 years, has been dealing with some injuries that, I think, probably held him back a little bit. But, physically, he's 100%. He was up to 95 a couple of times in his live BP yesterday. Rich Hill is yet to throw to hitters, but had an exceptional bullpen today. I saw Colin McHugh for the first time get off the mound yesterday. I think the week before last, he had thrown a 55-pitch bullpen with an up and down. But all three of these guys, tremendously talented. Michael Wacha, in particular, I really feel like there's a good chance that he's going to be able to rebound here. He's still a young guy, very strong, physical presence, and has a lot of postseason experience and can bring a lot to the table as far as that's concerned. But, I'm really excited to get to know those guys, get an opportunity to build a relationship with them. And excited for what they can do, not just between the lines, but certainly in the clubhouse as well.
All right, April 5th, Gonzaga-Baylor. Hopefully Tampa's off that night. You can watch the championship game. How's that sound? Pretty good?
Yeah, it would be great.
Kyle, great to talk to you. Don't disappear. I want to get you back on. Great job. Thanks for a few minutes here today. Thanks very much.
You got it. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.